So the look I'm going to do today, I kind of want to get a little funky. I usually wear my daytime makeup to work, and so I try to keep it pretty toned down, pretty, you know, conservative a little bit. But today I wanted to do a look that's a little bit more funky, just a tad bit, because it's the weekend. I figure, you know, I can do something fun and funky for the weekend. So I'm going to combine My Heaven, which hopefully you can see the color there, with Seduce. See that color? Seduce you can also use as a blush, which I might go ahead and do that today. Just show you guys how you can do that. And then I'm also going to use my Smoked Coals, which is what I typically use for my eyeliner, and I'm also going to use it to do a little bit of shadowing in my eye. Alright, so I want Seduce to be my base color. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get another flat edge brush. This one is a little bit softer. Let me show you guys. I'm going to dust it off a little bit. It has some sparkly colors still left in it. Don't want to get any sparklies, or the least amount of sparklies as possible. I want to do this kind of a matted look. So when I get stuff off, I just rub it. Since it's my makeup brush, I just rub it on my hand to kind of make sure I get all that color off. Okay. So here's this brush. See, it's a little bit looser. It's still a firm brush, and firmer brushes are better to use with minerals, because that way the minerals, the powder, can adhere to the brush and not just fly everywhere. Okay, so you know, I'm going to go ahead and prime my eyes. I'm working on creating a primer for Etniq, but right now, since I don't have one, I use Urban Decay's primer potion, which is really great. It's a perfect primer. So I'll be right back. Here's Urban Decay's primer potion. Let's see, mine is kind of used because it doesn't say primer potion anymore. So I just take that and I set it on my eyes. I need it. I generally need some kind of primer, even with the minerals, and especially if I'm not going to do a wet application or foiling. And I'll talk about that a little later. I'll do a video showing you guys how to foil. But if I'm not going to do a wet application, my skin is just too oily to expect, you know, even my high quality minerals to last all day. So I don't want to have to deal with them coming, you know, my eyeshadow creasing, or it doesn't really crease, it just fades into my skin. This becomes a natural skin enhancer because it just fades into my skin. So alrighty, so I just put the primer potion on my eyelids, and I just spread it out with my fingertips. Alright, so got my brush. So I'm actually going to put a little tiny bit of this in the cap. Again, I like to work out the cap. Cap makes it a little bit easier to control. Then I'm going to tap right onto the top of it and just take a little bit of it. Then I'm always going to shake down, shake it off of my brush. Again, you want the least amount of powder just flying up around. Okay, so for this, I'm just going to tap where I want it. Instead of spreading, I'm just going to tap. So that way I have a lot more control over where the mineral is going, where the shadow's going. I'm going to get a fan for my bathroom. Okay, I'm going to do the tap tap again. And I only want this to go halfway, almost a little bit more than halfway, you can see. And that's because the My Heaven, the blue that I'm going to use, is not strong enough to kind of outplay or downplay this Seduce. So I want it to have, you know, I want it to stand out on its own. So I'm just going to take it to the middle, and then when I put the My Heaven on, then I'm going to blend. Okay, so that's about where I want it. Let me hurry up and do the other side. That's me tapping. Okay, and tap again. And I try to even it out a little bit, but it doesn't really matter too much at this point because we're going to do a lot of blending. And you have to remember that each eye is different. It's never going to be perfect. Just got to let yourself off the hook. Alright, so for cleanliness purposes, I go ahead, re-tap the rest of that back into the container just so that I don't accidentally hit it at some point and knock all my minerals down. So now I'm going to take my angled shadow brush, which is one of my favorite brushes because it's perfect, and I'm going to apply the heaven. Now for the heaven, I'm just going to take some of the off the side because I have a lot of little particles left on the side of this container, so I'm trying to clean up the container while I use the makeup. So important thing is just to get enough on the brush. Don't know if you can even really see that. And then I'm going to shake it down, and then I'm going to apply. See? And so I'm applying it right here to the side in the corner where my Seduce ended. Okay? And so since it's an angled brush, it's going to fit right in nicely into the crease of my eye. Cool. I'm going to do the other eye first before I play around some more with this eye, and that's just because at this point I'm going to want to work them both together. Alright, same thing, and this is what usually happens to me anyway, is that one side will be a lot lighter and then the other side will be super brilliant color. So that's why I just kind of start, apply and then wait and see what it's looking like, so then I can start blending them in together and getting them to be the same color. Okay, so now since I know how bright my left eye is, now I can start brightening up this right eye. And all I gotta do is just apply a little bit more color to it. Okay? Really simple. So now, I do want to take this and blend it a little bit more over the top. So I take this cool angled brush, and now I'm going to blend that into the crease over the top. I'm not going to add any more color to it. Just going to blend it over the top. Okay? And I'm going to bring it a little bit above the brow line, or I'm sorry, a little bit above my crease. Okay, and I just bring it up with my brush. I'm kind of now using my brush a little bit for blending. I'm going to do the same thing over here. Bring it a little bit over. Try to get that color to blend, and then bring it up a little bit.